So on today's new spec series, we'll be talking about the Young Avengers and which one the MCU might be pulling from. Let's begin.
I'm first. I got golden rings, you ain't cold as me. On my worst day, I'm frozen dreams, big as overseas. Never quit like some anime. Watch your noses bleed, cause I'm hot.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy Devin. Welcome back to the D3 channel. If you like what you see and you want to see more, click that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so every single time I drop new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I've had my daughter lately, so that's why there's kind of been a hiatus on videos just a little bit. Just spending time with my baby girl because I haven't seen her in a long time. I graduated, as you know, from the catch-up video. If you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. That'll kind of give you a full update on where the channel is going and everything. And so I just been kind of just dealing with that, and I got some good news, guys. So not even a month out of graduating, like actually not even a month and maybe 2 days out of graduating, I got my first professional job. I am an animation intern at Harmonix. So I'm so excited, so blessed for that. If you guys don't know who Harmonix is, you definitely know their video games. They are the original creators of Guitar Hero before it went to Activision, but they're also known for Rock Band, Dance Central, just so many other games, as well as their newest game, Fuser. And they saw my thesis and had to immediately just interview me, see what I'm about, see my thought process, and how I really feel about just everything leading to the new project that they're working on. And so they welcome me to their team, their family. I'm so excited. Can't wait to start. It's gonna be crazy. But just that's kind of just what's been going on. So kind of see this as a little spec and also a little update on just, kind of post graduation, what I've been doing and everything. But we are here to talk about Young Avengers and if the MCU is going to be pulling from volume 1 or volume 2. As you can see, both pictures are right here. We're really just going to be sitting talking about them because a lot of people are really thinking that they're going to pull from the Young Avengers. And honestly, it's possible. It's very possible. But I'm going to put a third pick right here of another team that I think that they can be pulling from, because everything that they're building up to kind of leads these characters right here. Even though some haven't been introduced, but it does pave the way for possibilities, because we don't know how other characters are going to get brought up, and we also don't know of a certain group, a famous group. We don't know what age bracket they're going to be coming in as. We don't know if they're going to coming in as adults or teenagers. We're not sure, but it depends on that. That definitely sets the mark on what could possibly be for the future MCU. So, Young Avengers Volume 1. So, guys, I got my key collector right here, guys. And let's talk about it. Young Avengers 1 is the first team appearance of Kate Bishop, Patriot, Iron Lad, Asgardian, and Hulkling. So we know that Kate Bishop is getting her Hawkeye series. We know that it's coming later on in the year. We have seen Patriot. We've seen Patriot in Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Well, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but now Captain America and the Winter Soldier. We've seen him, but we don't know if he has powers yet. And in the Young Avengers storyline, it talks about that very thing. We've seen Iron Lad. Iron Lad, that's somebody kind of different. We know a version of him is coming to the MCU, and that's Kang the Conqueror. So Iron Lad is a version of Kang the Conqueror. So we know Kang the Conqueror is coming into the MCU. So that does give it validity that we might get a different version of Kang the Conqueror, because he has come in many forms, because he is the master of time travel. We haven't seen Asgardian or Hulkling, but we do know that Speed and Wiccan are in that group as well. But I did also want to pull up Young Avengers Volume 2 and their team, because their team is Kate Bishop, Novar, Wiccan, Hulkling, Kid Loki, and Miss America. So the reason why I bring these up, and also the third team that we're going to talk about, is Champions Volume 2. That team appearance is Miss Marvel, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Nova, Hulk, Amadeus Cho Hulk, Vision, and Cyclops. So this is the reason why I wanted to bring these kind of young teams up, because these are going to be the young teams that they're really going to be pulling from. But the thing is, we don't know which team they're going to be pulling from, because every single key player has either been on all three, or they've been or each key player is in separate versions of that same team. If you look at Young Avengers Volume 1, then you see that we have Kate Bishop, you see that we have Patriot, but then in Young Avengers 2, you see, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Loki episode, what is it, 4 now? Yeah, episode 4 now. We do see Kid Loki at the end credit. So they might possibly bring Kid Loki into the MCU. That is a different version of Loki. And so also in Young Avengers Volume 2, we have America Chavez, Miss America, who we know is confirmed to be in not Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. We know for a fact that she is coming. And also, as Hulkling is in Volume 2 and Volume 1. And also in Champions, just a different version of that same character. So as Amadeus Cho. So, and also in Champions, we have Miss Marvel, who we know is getting a show made right now. We've already seen pictures. We've already seen the costume design. Looks amazing. Everything. So you know for a fact that we don't know how the MCU is going to be pulling on the young team. So everybody is kind of pulling towards Young Avengers Volume 1, because they think for sure, without a doubt, because they know Kate Bishop is getting her own Hawkeye show, and we've seen Patriot in Captain America and the Winter Soldier. But I don't think that's enough for me to really go 100% in on Volume 1. I think that they're going to pull more from Volume 2, because we're getting Captain America, because we're getting Miss America, America Chavez, we got Kid Loki. Kate Bishop is also in that same team, if I'm 100% sure. Let me just check Key Collect one more time. But I want to say if she's in there, then it's a done deal. Exactly. Yes, Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop is in Young Avengers Volume 2. That's three out of the team that's already been confirmed for the MCU. Aside from Volume 1, where only 2 have been. No, that's a lie. Excuse me. 4, because we have Speed and Wiccan that has been teased in WandaVision, and they might come in Vision 1, but we don't know how they're gonna come into that in that per se. So I'm thinking my spec is that the moment we get confirmation that Miles Morales is going to be in the MCU, then I'm not ditching the Young Avengers spec, but I'm putting all my money on the Champions, and this is why I think that. So we know that White Vision, says officially that he is Vision. That the whole point of the discussion with White Vision and the Vision that Wanda created was basically just a conversation on what is real. What defines you? Is it just you as a being physically, or is it the memory that dictates who you are and who you say that you are and who you walk as? And so White Vision gets his memory and remembers everything. Even though he doesn't have the Soul Stone, he does remember that all the events from his creation to his death in Avengers Infinity War, and says that he is Vision. And so he leaves. And so my spec is that I wouldn't be surprised if they do something in the sense with White Vision where he possibly creates a family of his own. I totally wouldn't be surprised if they decided to do an adaptation of the Vision franchise, which is right here. The Vision franchise, which is the first appearance of Viv Vision, Vin Vision, and Virginia Vision, as well as their dog, which we seen in WandaVision. And so, no, not, excuse me, no, we haven't. This is Sparky. So, I think honestly they might be able to create Vision in that way. I think it's possible for them to do that because this is a storyline where Vision has his own family, and I think he's going to want to censor that because of what he loved and what he lost, and because he doesn't have that personality to really, kind of just fall for Wanda like Vision did before he died. I think that he's going to want to have his own sense of family and purpose and just to not be alone and be around his kind and everything. It's a long spec. It's a stretch. Trust me, it's a stretch. But I really truly believe that they could possibly use White Vision to create Vision. And if the moment we get Vision, I'm telling you, the champions are going to be the team that they're going to create because they already would have Miss Marvel. Because when you look at it, if you look at Young Avengers 1 and Young Avengers 2, Miss Marvel isn't in either team. So it's like, why would they make a show about Miss Marvel if they're not thinking of maybe we can pull from the champions? But here's my idea. Here's my spec. And I think all three keys are going to have some validity to them. I'm thinking what they're going to do is they're going to create their own unique Young Avengers. It won't be the actual roster of each volume, but I do think that they are going to pull from each team and create their own unique version of Young Avengers. Because you got to remember, Avengers #1, the first appearance of Avengers, didn't have the team that we saw in the MCU. It didn't have Black Widow. It didn't have Hawkeye. So, and it had a whole different roster. It even had Ant-Man, and Ant-Man wasn't introduced until way later in the MCU. So you got to understand that the way that the MCU is doing it, they are paying respects to the team, but they're building the team with a different roster. And so I think what they're going to do, I think it's just my spec. If I'm right, I'm the first one to say it. I think what they're going to do is they're going to pull from the champions, pull from Young Avengers Volume 2, and pull from Young Avengers Volume 1, and that's going to be the Young Avengers squad, because we already got Miss America. Why would you bring her in if you wasn't going to do something with her with the younger team? They already confirmed America Chavez to be in Doctor Strange. So why would you bring her in there if you wasn't going to pull from that timeline? And because it's a multiverse, it makes it all the more valid that they're going to bring Miles Morales in there because he's from a different universe. So it just makes complete sense that they're going to pull. They already have Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop is on both Young Avengers 1 and Young Avengers 2. They already have Kate Bishop. And then because we have Wiccan and Speed, we already going to have them. That's from the roster Young Avengers 1. We don't know if they're going to bring a Patriot into the Young Avengers because they didn't spec it as if he had powers already or that he wanted to be like Captain America. But because Sam Wilson is Captain America, that might inspire him to want to become Patriot. So I wouldn't be surprised if they end up making another season of Captain America and the Winter Soldier where we do see Patriot in there. If they bring Patriot in there, then you can 100% guarantee that those are the four that they're going to bring. But they also have Miss Marvel and they also have Kate Bishop. So that is a pretty stacked team of Young Avengers. But they also got Kid Loki in Volume 2. Why would you introduce Kid Loki in Loki if you wasn't going to bring him into the Young Avengers, if you weren't going to make a young squad? And I think because it's such an interesting dynamic that we've already had an adult Loki and we know where he's been from point A all the way to point B to where he is now, and not do a kid version of that where he's completely different. He wants to change. He wants to be a hero, but he may still have his mischievous ways because he is a Loki. But that just would be so cool to see an interesting dynamic where we see a kid version of Loki, and he still may have his antics, but he's a hero, a full-fledged hero. So I'm really 100% thinking that they are gonna bring Kid Loki into the young squad. They're bringing Miss Marvel. It's a stretch with Vision, but I think if they do that, then it's definitely gonna have that team is definitely gonna have some sense of the champions in there. So the only one that I'm really thinking about that I don't know, because we do know that the Skrulls are in the MCU, and that Hulkling is half Skrull. And I just don't know how they're going to go about doing that. They could do some type of Skrull with Hulk's blood and create something, and that ends up being Hulkling. Possibly. But we don't know which Hulk they're going to bring in. We do know She-Hulk is going to have a plethora of Hulks. We do know Abomination is going to be in there. People are specking that Red Hulk might be in there. But it wouldn't surprise me if we end up seeing Amadeus Cho and She-Hulk. Because with She-Hulk, they're able to tap into the Hulk franchise. You couldn't do that with the Hulk because Hulk is still owned by Universal, but She-Hulk isn't. So the fact of the matter is that that's the loophole where they're able to throw in all these different type of Hulks that we're going to see. And I do think because of the multiverse opening up that we are going to get Amadeus Cho, but he's going to come from a different universe where he's the Hulk instead of Bruce Banner. But in the storyline, they do interact with each other. So who knows? Maybe Bruce Banner doesn't want to be the Hulk anymore, and he talks to Amadeus Cho and maybe transfers the power over. We don't know how they're going to play that storyline, if it's going to be comic accurate or just be their own interpretation. But there's just so many ways that they can pull from different characters and bring them into the team. So let's go again. We already got confirmation on Kate Bishop, Wiccan, Speed, Miss Marvel, Kid Loki, and America Chavez. Those are the 6 that we already know are going to be in the squad. We don't know about Patriot. We don't know about Miles. We don't know about Cho. We don't know about Viv. We don't know about Iron Lad. We don't know about any of those yet, unless they show something in the movies later on that shows that in that sense. But I'm thinking with that 6, that's a pretty nice 6 to go ahead and just have the foundation of the Young Avengers going. I think that'd be real interesting or whatever if they go with that, because they're pulling from every team, young team that the Avengers, that Marvel has had. There's only really 3. Champions, Young Avengers 1, and Young Avengers 2. Not that many young teams out there. So I really think there's a possibility that they sat down and was like, well, instead of pulling from just one comic, how about we pull from all 3 and connect them in a way where the roster may get bigger. It may be more, they may have more affiliations maybe. Because they may be part of the Young Avengers, but again, Miss Marvel, Champions. America Chavez, Young Avengers Volume 2 with Kid Loki. And Kate Bishop. But you can also go Kate Bishop, Speed, and Wiccan and get that Kang Iron Lad and get that Hulkling. So we have no idea, but my spec is that honestly, all number 1s are worth grabbing because of this. No one is going to be greater than the other because they're all going to be pulling from each one because they all make their first official teams in each volume. So even if they make a Young Avengers, I wouldn't say just only get Young Avengers number 1 because you're going to be sleeping on Volume 2 and Champions if they pull from those, and those books are already out of reach. I have at least maybe 6 versions of Champions Volume 1 because I strongly stand on Champions really coming into the MCU. Like, it just, the way that they're building the MCU, you cannot tell me they're not going to bring in Miles. We don't know who's going to be cast, but I'm telling you, Far From Home is going to be the opening to that, and I think they're really holding it. But I think we might see a cameo from Miles. I'm telling you, if they do it, that will be the movie to do it in. Just a quick cameo. Don't have to reveal the character. Don't have to reveal who's under the mask. But just, all we need to see is just a red and black outfit. That's all we need. Once you see that, it's a done deal. Endgame. You already know, alright, Miles is in MCU. whatever big event they're going to come from, they're going to pull from every single multiverse to get those teams, which is why I think they're going to be pulling from each different one. So that is just my Young Avengers spec. That is episode 1 of my spec. I think it went great. I think it was cool. I think it's fun just thinking of just different ways that they can pull from these different teams, because we just don't know. And also, I completely forgot. I went 20 minutes without even thinking about them. Cyclops is in the Champions. So the big thing with Cyclops is that we know that Disney and Marvel are bringing X-Men into the MCU. We know that for a fact. When? We have no idea. But the question will be, what age bracket are we going to see the X-Men in? We've seen 100 variations in animation shows of X-Men. We've seen them as adults, but we also seen X-Men Evolutions where they're in high school and they're teenagers. So it depends on which type of X-Men cast they're going to bring in. If they're going to bring them in young, which I think they probably will do 9 times out of 10 with a team that big, I feel like they're going to go more towards the young side, but keep some of those adults in there, like Wolverine, Storm, or Beast. I honestly think those 3 would be the best 3 as kind of a overseer, but you pull that Cyclops, that Jean, and they be teenagers being trained up, and they be the ones that are like the high X-Men candidates or whatever, and join the team and everything. But I have no idea how they're gonna do that, though. I don't know. I doubt they do a teenage version of Wolverine, because Wolverine's healing factor just makes that just implausible. Like it wouldn't make sense for the MCU to bring Wolverine as a teenager when we know that by the time in this year he's already past 100. Like we know that. Like it just wouldn't make any sense. So that's kind of just my spec on that. We don't know for sure how they're gonna bring the X-Men in, whether it's teenagers or adults. If they bring them as teenagers, then you can honestly 100% guarantee that they're going to pull from the Champions when it comes to the building the young team. Because it's like, why not? If you already got Miss Marvel, you already got you already got Miles from another universe. Cyclops, you only need 2 more. Viv and Hulk, Amadeus Cho. And we already talked about this possible spec for those. But thank you for watching this video. This was fun. I definitely want to think of more spec to think about. And if you have spec that you want to talk about, comment below. Let me know. And let me know what you guys think of just my crazy idea of the Young Avengers. Do you guys think, honestly, that my spec is sound? And if it is, let me know. If it's not, then let me know still, respectively. But definitely let me know for sure what you guys think, because I think it's fun, I think it's cool, and if they do that, then that'll be the most creative way that Marvel has ever done, putting a team together, pulling from so many different volumes. And we don't know. I haven't read all of those volumes, so they may also bring in other teammates. But as the roster stands, those are just the rosters that are first introduced in the number 1s of Young Avengers Volume 1, Young Avengers Volume 2, and the Champions. But this is Devin. Thank y'all for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. New videos again drop Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I do have videos coming out for you guys next week. You guys are really gonna like those. And I thank you guys. See you guys. Hey guys, before the video ends, quick. Only lasts a few seconds. Follow the Twitch stream. Definitely click on the subscribe button below and go subscribe to the Twitch stream. Me and my friends are doing crazy things in there with Knockout City. We just started Green Hell yesterday. Definitely check that out. Definitely just subscribe to that, because all my video gameplay is going to be on Twitch. Drop below or just go to www.twitch.com/the D3 channel. No spaces. See you guys.
Living life on the